welcome back to another episode of the Post Plan Podcast brought to you by Bitcoin Casino.vip. We've got Paula G in the building.
Paula G in the mix. Guys, I'm gassed. I'm fully gassed to be here.
We know it's your favorite podcast.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, out of all the other CS podcasts. Isn't that right, Paula?
Adam and Henry together, it's an unstoppable force.
We're in Bucharest, Henry. You're all stomping ground. How is it to be back?
I used to be called the bad boy from Bucharest.
Oh, yeah?
It is good to be back. Yeah, like we're covering a tournament in China. You good? You good? You
Oh, me? I know you're pointing at Adam. I'm great. The bad boy of Bucharest.
Yeah,
I know a lot of the law.
We're covering an event in China, but yeah, we're at the PGL studios.
Yeah.
Nice hotel as well, to be fair.
Yeah,
enjoying the hotel room.
We're not going to tell you which hotel it is, though, because that
That's
would be
fair.
kind of doxing us.
Yeah, but we're having a nice time. The
We
boys
are.
are back together, the Mongolian boys.
Should we give a little cheers?
Oh my God, the Mongolian
drink,
boys.
Henry,
Yeah. Okay,
I
cheers,
didn't bring
guys.
one, no.
All right, Paula and I can...
Do you not have one in the fridge?
No.
Do you want
share.
one of those? Do you want
No, I'm good.
Okay,
I'm
all
good.
right,
I want to
cheers.
see you guys have a
Cheers.
nice
We're
time.
having a nice
Yeah.
Romanian
Such
beer.
an altruist, Henry. Thank you.
All right. Well, in this episode,
Cheers.
we're going to be recapping some of ESL Pro League, mainly ESL Pro League. That was kind of the only thing that happened.
God.
And then a couple of roster moves, a couple of updates.
I'm still pretty burnt out from Pro League. Do we
Me
have to
too.
relive it?
Yeah, we do.
Okay,
and
fair
I did
enough.
it last night on another podcast. So
Okay, so you're up to date.
I'm redoing it again and again
Okay.
and again. So
How long were you guys there for?
this is about 3 weeks. Just
3
under 3
weeks.
weeks, yeah.
Yeah, it was like 13 studio days, 3 media days, 2 travel days, and no days off.
Yeah, so you guys have been going non-stop since we were in Serbia together at Fisher
Yeah.
Playground 2, right?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
We had 3 days at home. One night to kind of blow off the steam and then straight off to Pro League.
You and I, Paolo, were kind of back. We took a bit of a hiatus. We didn't get work for a while, and now we're
Yeah,
actually doing a lot of events together.
Yeah, no, it can be up and down, right? And yeah, it's nice to be doing these ones together. We've been on, a few consecutive events, which is
Yeah.
always nice.
We're kind of, Adam and I call ourselves the bottom feeders.
We were bottom starving for a while, but yeah, we're bottom feeders.
All the events no one else wants to do, Adam and I just scoop them up, and I guess goes quite hand in hand with this podcast. We get to do this on the road. It's the first one in a hotel room, though, right?
This is the first one in a hotel room.
Where do you guys usually do them?
In my
Henry's
apartment.
studio.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, my studio.
yeah. But no, I've seen them when you guys are at home. But is this the first traveling episode?
Yeah.
Yo,
we did
let's
one.
cheers to
World
the first
first.
one. World first on
One
the road.
more cheers. One more cheers to the boys.
Henry,
Okay. I don't know what to do.
Look, I will.
Okay.
Okay, these
Sorry, audio listeners with the headsets. That was probably very loud. I'm going to mute Paula's microphone.
Audio, we'll get it too.
Ooh, bit of
Okay,
ASMR there.
Right. So Paula is while he's doing that, I guess we could talk a little bit more about that. You know, Henry, what you mean by
Thank you,
that?
Aaron.
I mean, you obviously took a break, but you come back. Is there much of a change into the CS world for when you used to be there, like compared to what it is now?
I've retired multiple times from commentary. I've come back.
You have to redo your microphone again.
Yeah, like coming back into it is always quite jarring. Especially like it's not so much the gameplay; it's more that the commentary level has elevated so much. Everyone gets so much better. Like there used to be like the number one kind of duo, the number one guy doing the color commentary. When you come back, everyone's like got way past me. So for me to come back into it, it's very challenging, like learning the meta and what everyone's into. Like I still think I bring quite traditional commentary to the table. I bring like the old school kind of like
Right.
color commentary with a play-by-play. I'm kind of making the ooh and the ahs and kind of like trying to elevate my
Go support.
play-by-play cast. I don't know if you noticed that when you work
Oh,
with me.
yeah, I definitely noticed that.
I try and elevate you and try and like alley-oop you all the big moments. But yeah, like commentary has evolved so much since I was doing it like back in the day in 2015. So it's always difficult to get back into it, but
I think this is also a humble take, though, as well. So
yeah?
you come back at these times, and then everyone's ahead of you.
well, to be fair, I will say that even when people don't want to make the events, like Jason couldn't be here. I'm going to do Bucharest where Hugo can't make it. People do request to work with me. So
Yes,
like,
I mean-
I still think like the audience still appreciates it. My colleagues still like it. So although it's like challenging to like fit in and then try and work with someone else, like it's always like so much fun.
Yeah, I think because you've worked with so many people over the years as well, you can just kind of slot in, know what to do with a lot of different styles. You know, I have a different style to Anders, but we're casting well together, and you men have been casting with him recently. So yeah, I mean, you
it speaks to the experience and skills, though, too.
yeah.
Thank you.
You are, I think, I don't know if it's so outward facing, but Henry definitely a humble person, maybe too humble at times. So if you're not going to give
Humble
the credit,
Henry, is that what
if
you
you're
call
not
him?
going to give the credit yourself, let
You know
me
what?
add a caveat, because yeah, fair enough, all your points I think fair, but don't forget to give yourself some credit in these
Yeah.
setups that you
I'll
get
be
involved
honest,
in
I'm
these
just happy
days?
to be here. Like, it's a very competitive field. The duos are so good now, and like trying to navigate
true,
that landscape and like trying to like slot in somewhere, it's difficult. I've taken on this sort of like mercenary role where if people get sick, people get burnt out, I just kind of come through. But it seems to be the place I want to be right now. I feel pretty happy with that.
Well, you mentioned 2015 and traditional commentary.
Henry, don't
Paula.
touch my feet, bro.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, can
Got
you
to
guys
take the
see
socks off, bro.
Wasn't that in the contract? No physical contact unless I initiate, or
Well, dude, they're quite nice.
I put socks on. 'Cause you guys know me. Usually I'll be barefoot.
Yeah,
right?
why did
But because I
you've
was
dressed
thinking
up for our show, bro? What is this as well? Look,
bro, this is how I do all the time.
No,
What do you
no,
mean?
no. I've never seen you wear a
for
collar.
the business casual for the podcast. Bro.
I'm wearing my outfit from
We
yesterday.
gotta show up. The hotel room podcast. You gotta be looking dapper.
I'm wearing my outfit from
You
yesterday.
interrupted his segue. Adam,
Yes,
you go.
my
Sorry.
segue was quite smooth, but you
Okay.
have just made it
My bad.
shit, Paula. So,
Sorry.
Obviously, moving into 2015, Henry was talking about, traditional. You aren't so traditional, Paula, in terms of like the fun style you bring is, I think it was refreshing to see. I think that's a big reason why you had so much success. But your YouTube channel is one of the best in the whole Counter-Strike world ever. It's still to this day, it's still up there with the numbers in terms of biggest content. But content's kind of dead now, Paula. Like,
Ooh, I
Would you
mean,
agree with that?
it's an interesting question because, at some point, to anybody watching this or isn't aware, refresh. So I used to do YouTube full time. Is how I got into doing talent work.
Yeah.
Both things became full time jobs in 2015, and the main game, the big thing on my channel was CS. I did other things too. But yeah, like the CS content landscape was, at least you could say, different then. I'm not exactly sure what it's like these days because I'm not seeking out that content myself these days, as opposed to back then when you are making it, you're consuming lots of it. But at the very least, it's different.
Let's go back to the beginning though. Like when you first got into, you were a Counter-Strike player. You used to play like Source back in the day and stuff like that. But like you were never like a pro player or playing in leagues and stuff like that. You were like
one league.
One league?
Enemy down league.
Enemy down? Okay, dude, that's old school. If anyone
Like
knows
a pug
that,
league.
Never
Like
heard of
a,
this.
If anyone's
you
aware
like
of
for
that.
you and 4 people, you sign up. No,
Yeah.
not a league in any way that leagues are these days.
You're a
like
fan of Counter-Strike. Let's be fair, a casual player. But then, what was the opportunity you saw to like start making content for CS? Like, did you see like it was popping off? It was a bigger game. Why did you decide to get into CS content creation?
Interesting question. No, yeah, so to add extra context, so 2004 was CS Source. Yeah, so I got it free with the orange box, which was a
Half-Life 2.
Yeah, you're buying the game Half-Life 2, and then you get a couple games with it. One of them was Counter-Strike Source. A friend told me that it was on the disc. I didn't even know, and I started playing it, and I thought it was interesting and cool because you couldn't move and shoot at the same time, and it became very clear that there was a high skill ceiling.
Yeah.
I'm someone that likes competitive endeavors in whatever. It could be a board game, it could be a computer game, it could be a sport. It hooked me, and I started just playing it a lot. Nothing to like the level Henry was doing at that time, or 3 years later or something, 4 years later.
My first LAN was in 2005.
Yeah, okay,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
But I was playing it and trying to get better, and you kind of research a bit in terms of, and you start finding these things on the internet, because keep in mind the internet was a lot less developed then. It was kind of hard to find information on these things unless you were really involved.
Yeah.
But yeah, I found out people playing, they were having LANs. And yeah, just got really into it. And back then you'd join like a TeamSpeak or a Ventrilo, and you'd just do mix Ven, you just join one channel, 4 other people join.
I didn't even know what Ventrilo was up until like last week.
Yeah, it was
Okay,
like
yeah,
pre-TeamSpeak.
So
Yeah.
that's the type of playing I was doing. And I did that for a while, on and off, like multiple years. Really on and off, and even a bit when I was, I think, still at like university, at least like 2010 or so. And then through all of those times, I was still playing other games and stuff too. And then it was 2012 when Go was released.
Yeah.
I'd already started making some YouTube videos then, but just like once a month for like a couple months.
And those are like comedy videos or gaming videos?
Well, I didn't have a PC that could record games at the time, or a capture card for a console.
Okay.
So I made some show where I sat on my bed and talked about like pop culture, like the latest movie and
Is
old
that still
music.
up?
Yeah, I left
Okay.
it there, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
A lot of YouTubers delete the old cringe.
no.
Bro, you
left
didn't
it
go
there.
for the tripod with the phone in front of the TV. I did
No,
that.
did I
I did that shit when I didn't have a capture card or a good PC. I would just like set up the phone and record the
Yeah.
screen. Was not good.
I didn't even have a tripod. I put the camera on like a few boxes and stuff.
Damn.
Funny talking about this type of thing, alternate styles of setups. I've seen people live streaming where they're playing their game and the shot is on them, and then they have a mirror next to them so you can see the gameplay in the mirror. Like if they can't afford like a capture card, dude, like legit. I saw this once the other day, and I'm assuming other people are doing it. Anyway, yeah. So I was doing that because I'd always wanted to make videos, and I started doing it. That's a different tangent for another time. I've spoken about it before. You guys feel free to ask me about it, but I want to address what you were saying. Yeah, Counter-Strike Go comes out, and it's been probably like a year and a bit, a couple of years since I've been playing the game regularly, and I'm like, oh well, of course I'm going to check out Counter-Strike Go. As we all know, when Counter-Strike Go dropped, it was
a terrible game.
Pretty unrecognizable as a CS game. Even if we're talking in the context of Source compared to 1.6, which got a lot of people up in arms, Go compared to Source or 1.6 at the time, end of 2012, it was completely bizarre. Didn't hook my interest at all. Started making content around other things. Other games, as and when I got a PC that could record capture card, and I was mainly on doing console stuff. But then, like at some point, after a bunch of updates in 2013 that I'd heard about, the game had changed quite a bit, and so just naturally, my interest in it sparked again. And then I think I saw like a DreamHack end of 2013, and I think I made my first. You guys can verify this. You can fact check me on it. I think my first CS videos were like early 2014 CS:GO videos, and so it just happened that if. That was a long-winded explanation.
So what kind of videos were you making? Like playing with friends?
I remember the first CS video I made, so the main game I was doing at the time, whilst I was still doing other games, the main game that I was following and doing content on was Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And so then when I got an interest in CS again, I'd seen it had been growing a little bit, I was like, why don't I make a video where I explain the mechanics of CS to like Call of Duty people? So it's called something like CS for COD, and then explaining like, strafing, stopping, shooting, and spray patterns, and that was
like a tutorial.
Almost, yeah. That was like the first stuff.
Yeah.
And then then it was at the time, and this wasn't individual to me, but it was like playing matchmaking, you record it, and then funny stuff with your mates and whatever. And that whole genre grew over 2014 and 15.
But I feel like that.
And I was part of that.
That genre feels like it's a little bit dead. Like the casual fan base is gone. Like it feels like people are just only there for the esports. Like trying to be a professional player,
or they're making like smoke lineups,
or smoke lineup
and
videos.
It's like utility videos and like fun CS content seems incredibly difficult to make.
And all content creators, it feels like the purpose of creating content right now is to get one of those deals, right? And you just pump content out so that you have Counter-Strike content with sponsorship from many different companies that are obviously sponsoring YouTubers in the scene.
Okay, so we talk about your first video. What was your first like viral hit with CS? When did you realize you were like, okay, this is actually the place to be right now?
I can't remember what my first viral hit was. Maybe, Henry, you remember some of the timeline on this stuff, but it was like I did these videos, and shortly after that, it would have been when I met Henry, and I was like, can I tell that story?
Yeah, of course. That's a good story.
This is a sixth. I can't, bro. When exactly it happened is we often debate about this, but I know where it happened and roughly when it happened. Henry hadn't started full-time commentating yet. No. I was definitely not earning enough money from my YouTube to be full-time on it yet. What I had started doing was doing like event videos where I'd go to CS events and interview people, this, that, and the other, as I'd been doing in other spaces before too. And I was at this specific venue in London, and I was walking backstage before an event, whilst an event was being set up, and these two doors like swung open next to me, and this dude walked out, and I was like, yo, were you HenryG? It was like, yeah. Surprised anybody remembers me.
Just for context, I was like an event manager. I was setting it was the early Gfinity events.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it was like we were setting up in the View Cinema in where was it? Whereabouts in London was that? Hammersmith? Fulham? Okay, yeah. And I was setting it up. I was just an event manager, worked in the games industry. We're doing a CS event, and obviously they put me in charge of it. And then you walked out and you recognized me. The thing is, like,
so I need to explain the context of why this is. So you see, back when I was playing CS Source in those years that I mentioned before, so like when I was a teenager, 2004, 5, 6, 7, at some point when you're doing a little bit of looking online about who's playing at the top level, his was one of the primary name that I would see from like the UK. Okay. And I'd be like, oh, HenryG, 4 Kings, that's sick as fuck. Oh, excuse me, can I swear?
No, you can do whatever you want.
That's sick as fuck, blah, blah. But never thought anything of it. And then, just and you'd see a couple pictures of them online, maybe like a gameplay clip.
There's no YouTube or anything,
yeah,
right?
no, exactly. And then like 5, 6 years later, this dude walks out of the doors. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's
and my response was like no one ever recognized me then. Like CS Source was such like small potatoes compared to what it is today. I was like, oh, yeah, like no one's ever recognized me before in person. And I was like, that's kind of taking me back a little bit here. And then we got talking, and that was the first interaction I ever had with Paula.
Yeah.
Like
That's
at
crazy.
work as an event manager, setting up a CS event. And then obviously as time went on, more and more interactions, then started working events together.
I think you might have been saying at one of the Call of Duty events.
Maybe you're right.
I think it was-
you're
dude,
right. Yeah, that's what it was.
yeah.
It was a Call of Duty
Yeah,
event.
dude, this was
you were doing
before-
interviews
yeah.
for a Call of Duty
Yeah,
event. Yeah, that's
yeah.
exactly what it was. Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy.
And then literally maybe max 4 or 5 months later, that's when you did your first commentating, and then bomb.
I did the Gfinity of the Copper Box. It was
Yeah.
like we did. Do you remember?
Copper Box is a pretty cool venue, actually.
Yeah, but it was my first ever event, and they threw me into like the grand final doing it. You go back and watch that footage.
Dude, that's your thing.
It's full cringe. Like I
Really?
didn't know how to commentate. I didn't know what was going on.
That was
It's
your
like-
first one.
yeah, my first ever LAN was the Gfinity at the Copper Box, like an Olympic venue, on the big stage with Tosspot. And he's like carrying me through it. I just don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was how it all started for me. Just finding that sort of
Kinda-
weird experience.
Kind of similar for me in a weird way, where I got thrown in. My first commentary was casting at Wembley.
Big
man wait. God.
King. You remember?
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were both there.
And I met Paula for the first time. But that's not the first time I ever seen Paula in person. I went a year before that to the ECS finals, and I seen Paula walking across the road. I was like, "There's that YouTube dude, that fucking
Whoa.
YouTube guy over there."
But you say like a negative
I was
way.
like,
What?
I gotta go talk to the Shroud guy instead. But it's funny, like a year later, than hanging out with all you guys. It was
Yeah,
pretty
you
cool.
won like the caster challenge or something, right?
Yeah, it was the ECS Caster Challenge. It's like face it, run it, and basically it was a way for them to get free coverage on all the many games they had. But 1 year later, I randomly got an email inviting me out there and worked with you guys. So
Yeah, I remember meeting. Roughly, it's a bit blurry at this time, but I remember we were in the green room, and then I think Bardolph brought you and Hawker in. Oh yeah, these are the guys that won the
The boy in my
commentating
dad's
competition, and then this
You were.
this young, fresh-faced, very nice, very friendly. Felt you got good vibes off Adam Insley, but yeah, a young kid, and yeah, didn't keep in touch or whatever. But like from there,
kind of weird, I was 17.
Yeah. and then steadily each year, then it was like
Yeah,
with
more and
you.
more.
But that's the very beginning. I do remember it roughly.
So how
know.
did you switch into the talent scene, Paula? Because you're doing
So,
YouTube
yeah.
content. How do you switch into being a talent member?
So yeah, again, it was completely unintentional. I was doing my YouTube thing. I loved making videos. I still like making videos, but I stopped doing it because I got burnt out by them. That's a separate story.
We'll get into that after.
Okay,
I
yeah,
want
sure.
to get into that after. Answer this question.
Yeah,
first,
sure,
but
sure. As mentioned before, I'd already started doing this thing where I kind of go to events, like interview people, and then there's like cut in with some comedy and like skit type of stuff. And then I went to it was the Face It DreamHack Valencia in 2015. And I saw that coming up, and my mate, who's still one of my closest mates, a guy called Dom, he used to do the camera work on my videos, and I was like, I wonder if, because we already knew Face It at this point, I was like, let me message Face It and see if they'd get flights and hotel, and then I can make content there. And then they did do that. And then whilst I was at that event at the after party, someone from DreamHack asked to hang out, and then asked me, oh, have you ever thought about hosting a stage? And I was like, no. And they were like, oh, would you do it? And I was like, sure. And that's it.
Were
That's
you
literally
at the peak of your YouTube kind of?
No, my
career
YouTube
then?
peaked the next year.
Do you
In
think,
2016,
that was
over
supported by
2016.
the content, the access to like the CS world and the behind the scenes and the player
Say
content?
that again.
Do you think your YouTube was allowed to peak as well because you combined the sort of talent scene and YouTube as well?
Oh, that's
Because
hard
I think
to
some of your
say.
most famous content that I remember, at least, maybe it's just because I was into the esports side of things, is like your masterpiece of you and Device in that bed, So that's
That came from one of the ECS things. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like the content around pro stuff, events was good and helped grow things, but there were other things as well. And I was never doing those things purely out of like a growth mindset. It's because those things interested me and like made me laugh or were cool things to do with people that you already knew. You see, like for instance, that video with Device, I already had known him for like a year and a bit, and you're scrambling at this event because I wasn't working that event. That was just one of the Wembley ones where it was like I came to record stuff, and I was like, with my mate Dom, and I'm like, oh, what would be funny? Well, who's free? And you're like texting people and who's available, and then Deve was like, yeah, I'm free for a bit, and I was like, yeah, can we just like record in your room? And then then it was basically all freestyle from there. It was like wasn't planned. So no, these things definitely did help grow me and like the stuff I was doing, but I was doing them because that was just like my natural interest. It just, I don't know.
For those that aren't aware, your YouTube channel was Mantrus, right? That was the name. What's the name? What's the meaning behind the name Mantrus?
Bro, dude, it's literally a name I came up with when I was a kid.
I've never known. So,
dude, there's no meaning. There's no secret source there. Bro, there's a very old school gaming franchise called Time Splitters.
Yeah, I remember it.
It was on
PS2.
consoles. Yeah, I played it on PS2. And when you made Time Splitters 2 was the first game ever where when you start, even though you weren't on the internet, you had to like make an account name.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it would be cool. I'm like 12 years old. I'm like, oh, what about like Terminator? I was like, no, that's too obvious. And I was like, what about Man Terminator? Mantinator.
Okay.
That was the
now we're getting some
original, and I used that name on that, some game called Tibia and some other stuff.
Oh, I know Tibia.
Yeah. And then at some point, I can't remember exactly why. I think, do you remember the show Pure Ownage?
Yep.
I think so. When I used their forums the first time, I was like, I don't want to use Mantinator anymore, and I just changed it to Mantrus, and I think so. I might be wrong, but then I just changed it to that, and I don't know why or how. That Rousse. I don't know.
So,
I have no clue.
Pretty big channel there. What, like 400,000 subs?
Yeah. So at its peak, because obviously at this point, since I stopped doing it, there's been loads of unsubscribes. But at its peak, it was 450, like between around that. Yeah, it's
that
close
seems
to
like a
500K.
pretty viable like stream of revenue though.
Yeah.
Right? So what was the reason for like being, like you said, burnt out, turning your back on it? Like I've never done it before, but it seems like once you've got that, you've made that kind of milestone of getting that many subs. It seems like you've already made it. Like when did you feel like, okay, I want to focus on the talent work rather than doing the YouTube stuff?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people don't realize like how much work it is to do content full time. And I was doing that and talent work full time, which is a lot. And at the time I stopped making videos at the end of 2017, it was still like creating decent revenue. So like in that sense, I had to make the decision to. It's not like it was making me like some mad baller, but no, it was still a significant part of like.
I guess when you get to that point, it's more about the sponsorship deals rather than the
exactly.
ad
No,
revenue,
the ad revenue was never great with like CS stuff, at least then, because there's violence or whatever, and because the way ad revenue works on YouTube is very, very. It's not that it's inconsistent, but it's massively. It differentiates a lot between categories, even games within categories or things within other categories. But no, it was still like a decent part of income. But that was. This is always like a tough thing to easily.
That's what we're doing now.
No, to easily describe. But it's like. So. I'd only ever made videos because I wanted to make videos. I thought it'd be funny. Me and my friends had talked about doing it since we were teenagers. And then I finally did it. I finally started trying to do it when I was 22. And then you start doing it, you realize you enjoy it. And you're like, oh, if I can make this a job as well, it earns me an income, that would be cool. So then that happens in 2015. And then the next 2 years, roughly at the same time, you start doing talent stuff too. So you're doing both at the same time. Then at the end of 2017, I was just... So, and then when you go from initially making videos and doing it because you like fully love it and it's your main interest, at some point when it becomes a job, like the main thing that you kind of have to think about is like how to maximize your video's reach and like those types of topics. And at that point, it sucks out a lot of the fun and enjoyment of it and the creativity of it. And that steadily happened over time, largely in part due to like algorithm changes, like. For instance, when I was first making videos on YouTube for the first couple of years, it was like you'd make like a 5-minute video and that was fine. Then at some point it became like if you need to be optimal, it needs to be like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And that's like a huge change, like 3 times the amount of work. And
when you say work, is that the editing and the process of creating the video?
Primarily the editing, but also like what am I going to do? Like what am I going to record, this, that, and the other? But anyway, to tie this point together, due to those types of changes and just less of an interest and also just really enjoying the talent work, at the end of 2017, I was like, whilst it still earns some money, I'm not doing it for the right reasons anymore. I'm purely doing it just to sustain it and try to grow it, as opposed to doing it because I still really love it. Not because I don't, even at that time, because I still like making little videos here and there. And like, I like, bro, that's always...
That still kind of scratches the itch, I guess.
Yeah, I still, that's always a part of me. It always has. It was even a part of me before I ended up figuring out I could do it. But... at that point, all I was doing on the YouTube was just trying to make videos to keep growing the channel, and because it earned some money.
Right.
which isn't why I ever did it. And so when realizing that, the key point was before Face It Cancun. So I was like behind on video. This was a well-known event at the end of 2017 where we all went to this 5-star hotel. I'm sure Adam knows it. And we were all on site there, and it was going to be this dream, amazing event.
Is it the Hard Rock?
Yeah, the Hard Rock
right?
Hotel.
Yeah.
And I was behind on videos, and it was like a few days before we left, and all I was thinking about was like, fuck, I haven't done enough videos. And then one of those days I was like, why the fuck is this the main thing on my mind? Why am I not looking forward to this next experience? And why isn't that the main thing on my mind? And so all those things, and that built up, and that was the like final moment. And I literally just went cold turkey. There was no announcement, nothing. I had no plan. I was just like, I'm just gonna stop making videos, and I did.
GG.
Yeah. But yeah,
was it hard to let go? Like after all that effort and years put into it, seeing the numbers grow, and then just going, all right, that's it.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's a big change. Also, it's something like if you work full time on that type of stuff, my opinion is that it's very unlikely that it doesn't permanently change how you think about things and work in general. Like, and that's not like a parlor thing. You'll hear a lot of YouTubers talk about that or content creators talk about that type of stuff, and like how it goes from initial sort of passion or whatever to then being the job, and how that changes how you think about it all.
Right.
And yeah, like, bro, between like the end of 2022 and the end of 2017, I've said this before to people, it's like, there's like 60 minutes in an hour, right? Bro, 45 minutes of every hour that I was awake, all I thought about was YouTube videos. Non-stop. And that's facts, like for real.
What was the other? What was the other stuff, Paula?
I was thinking about this guy, man. I was thinking about the serendipity of meeting him.
HenryG.
No, but and then literally it took until 6 months later, like middle of 2018, where I realized one day where I was like, oh, I haven't thought about YouTube today. And so, yeah.
So they were like shackles to you almost. So it was like taking over a lot of your mind palace.
Yeah. I don't know if shackles are the right word, but the essence of what you're saying, yeah. Like, it was just... And the thing is, I love making videos, but it also became like a compulsion to do it, and like a level... People often say, you see with like YouTube and content creation stuff, like, oh, wow, it takes so much discipline, this, that, and the other. And that is true to an extent, but a lot of the time also... People like myself, or the people that do it full time at some point, it becomes like an addiction, a compulsion where like I have to do it. But I've got to be on the treadmill nonstop.
My next point was like, you correct me if I'm wrong. I see you as a bit of a perfectionist. You wanted everything to be done like the way you want, the vision you've seen in your head. You want to make sure like you don't just phone it in. You want to make sure you do the video you intended to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Yes.
Okay. So
which makes things quite
exactly. So making content when you have to be.
Oh my god. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's funny because you can see that this isn't unique to me either. If you look at the general trends today, and also over a pretty extended period now with content creation, where content creators get to like a basic entry level in terms of it becomes a career. And one of the first things they'll do is start trying to hire like an editor to do stuff. And that was not common when it was only like the top big mega YouTubers that were like had an editor and that were helping produce their content. And that was always something that I found very hard to sign off on. I uploaded some videos again during Corona because I had nothing else to do. And at that point I was like, let me try paying some people, and that was an odd experience. But generally speaking, when I was doing it full time,
part of the creative process.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I like the editing part, but it's a double-edged sword because it also takes a lot of time. And like Henry said, if you want things a very specific way,
it takes a long time.
It's just hard to try and sign off on someone else doing it for you.
You mentioned how you think it changes how you think about work or whatever, and I want to get your thoughts on your talent work, because we've had all casters on so far.
Every caster in Malta, at least.
Yeah, every caster in Malta we've had on the show. So everyone we had on has been a caster other than Maui, right? And he's even cast at some points. But you're the first interviewer, stage host, Paula. So let's get a little bit of your philosophy on that side of things, because how do you see your job? Like, when you go into work, what is something that you look to achieve every time, like in your style?
Just primarily, it's just to try and make the best show possible.
Okay.
Obviously, we're privileged that we can enjoy our jobs and that we're very passionate about what we do and all the different. So, for instance, you guys commentate. For me, I've always loved from the start that, and again, this wasn't by design. So, the first event I got asked to do, it was stage hosting, DreamHack London. And so stage hosting with interviews was like 2 roles together. And then the next thing was like that frag bite thing, I think. Or no, it was like, like the next thing off was the frag bite thing where I was like a desk host.
Yep.
And so then from the start, I was exposed to like 3 different things. And like, I've always loved doing different roles and I love the job in general. But like, ultimately what we're trying to do is make a good show that's entertaining for people to watch. And sure, you want to have fun doing it. You want to have a good time with the social aspect of it. But genuinely, the first thing, all I'm thinking about, and you want to perform well, whatever that means, because there's a broad range of what performing well means in the role. The main thing I'm thinking about when I come to an event is how can I make sure that my part of the show is good? That's it.
Okay. But I noticed you have more of like, there's a lot of interviewers, shall we say, like a lot of them go ahead and they made it super serious and doesn't have a lot of like a personality to it. They don't really ask hard-hitting questions. You more, it feels like, come with a friendly attitude to the players. You can see they look quite comfortable when they're around you. I think you get different kinds of answers out of them. You know, over the years, you've brought some of the memes that live on to this very day. You know, the "I'm feeling thank you" one, Paula, for example.
True, that is a banger.
Yeah, you've literally that is still brought up
That
to
still
this
lives
day.
on.
It is.
Tell me about that day.
Someone mentioned that to me in Fisher. What?
Tell me about that day.
That day. Bro, so this was the HTC 2v2 or
Holy
1v1?
shit, yeah, it was. Yeah, it was maybe the 1v1.
Yeah, and so one of the content pieces that we were recording that PGL had set up was I would go to a go-kart track with Xantares and Zaz, and they were going to race and I guess compare times. And so then we're doing like the intro, and we spoke to them. We spoke to Xanta beforehand about because Xanta's for some time now he's pretty good with his English and stuff and whatever. But at the time, he was much less forward or confident with that type of stuff. So we briefed him beforehand, and that it was going to be like, saying what's up, intro, how are you guys, and then send off to like the main content. And so then we just go live, and I say something like that, and then I ask him. how are you feeling? And he goes like, I am feeling. And he just kind of smiles and pauses and goes, thank you. and then I realized straight away.
Profound, really.
Yeah. I realized straight away. I was like, oh, that doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound right. It doesn't make sense. So I glaze over. I come over the top. Oh, yeah, you're feeling really good. And then, because you need to finish the take, like make sure that you can't just cut it there, because otherwise, I don't know, that's just what you do. And then as soon as it finishes, I tell the guys behind the camera, I'm like, guys, like what Xanta said didn't make sense. He said like, I'm feeling thank you. And they're like, no, we think it's fine. Like, we just edit around it or whatever. And I'm like, are you sure maybe we should just do another second take. And so then it didn't happen. It came out and
well, it's given a fantastic meme to the CS community. So I even heard it at Pro League. Actually, people were dropping it at Pro League. Yeah,
really.
We were there last week, Henry. Vitality got the win at that competition.
Yeah,
It wasn't the best grand final though, was it?
No, I got to cast 2 maps of the best of 5. That was actually 3 maps. So I got the most of it. Really, you got the first map of the final. That was the best map.
I mean, yeah, we were billing it up to be the big one, right?
We played the
versus
Melbourne
FaZe,
documentary
the
before it.
Thunder from Down Under, for all 5 maps, all the way. But unfortunately, it just didn't really deliver. And that's kind of the case with grand finals in general. They're either super bangers, like all-timers, or they are damp squibs that don't really do anything. And it's just such a shame because we've been there for 3 weeks. Everyone was super tired. We just wanted to deliver, like you said, a good show. We just want to make sure it's as fun as possible. And it's great that Vitality won, but it felt like Falcons just didn't show up. It felt like they didn't really get going.
Not in the final.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They did the same thing at Fisher Playground as well, right? Like they did super well up until the semi-finals. One round fell against them, completely collapsed, and it just felt like they just never got going. I feel bad for Kiyosuke. Like, it felt like he had a great tournament up until the grand final as well. Just did nothing. They didn't shine up.
Looks very uncomfortable, out of place on certain positions. I think for him, people are underestimating how difficult it is to jump up from being a face at Pugstar to being a tier 1 player, because Donk has the attitude for it. Yeah. He also comes into a team where he's like the star player. You're coming into a team with Monacy and Nico.
I mean, Dinko, when your price tag is $2 million, there are some expectations.
Oh, sure, you should perform, but
Yeah.
that's the problem for Kyosuke. He doesn't play Inferno. He looks out of his depth on Train. I mean,
fucking learn Inferno
exactly.
again. Fucking go home and learn it.
A $2 million player, and we're talking about like a couple of maps in the pool. He just can't play.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a realistic solution there?
I mean, it's, I guess, more time is the catchphrase on this show.
It is actually more time. It definitely is more time.
It's the catchphrase on this show. They just need more time. But it's like, yeah, like when you pay that kind of money for a player, like you don't expect him to bottle it.
Yeah.
Paolo, what are your thoughts on he didn't accept his second place medal? They put on his shoulder. What do you think about that?
This is a really good question. Because like,
what do you make of that?
Because I know you know that I probably have like an opinion on that type of thing. That's why you've asked
Right.
me.
Do you think it's more the case I didn't perform or that's not good enough for me? What would you think?
Well, if we talk about as a general concept about like medal stuff, this is not like an unset precedent. You see Olympics, other big sports, whether it's team sports or like 1v1 sports, that's a thing. Some people do that. They don't want to accept their second or third place medal and they take it off. And I don't know fully.
What if you play really badly?
Wait. Because like... So that as a general precedent, I think I can understand why people do it.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically with CS and Kyusuke, like I don't know. I think he's allowed to do that if he wants to.
It's his medal. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, like so. I don't have a big problem with it. Like some people got really up in arms where it's like, oh, you're disrespecting the competition type thing.
Just to be clear, I couldn't care less.
No,
Your medal.
no, I know. I'm not saying you did.
Yeah.
I know you would. But as in like that was the big thing, right? As in like, why is it? It's like it's a bit disrespectful. Like, that's the impression I got, or why people disagree with like. People that don't want to wear their medals, which I just don't agree with. It's like, it's fine.
I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm hoping it's because he felt like he didn't play good enough, but I don't think that's the reason.
I think he's 17 years old. For me, he seems pretty impressionable as well. Like he's seen players do that before.
He's seen
Exactly. So I think he's just went, the second place isn't good.
No, exactly.
First final as well.
Bro, I think people that read into that in a negative way. I don't think that people.
Please go on.
People that read into that into a negative way have maybe not experienced some sort of high-level competition themselves. Because, like, I can understand that perspective. I'm not saying it was right or wrong, but
oh yeah, totally.
Like, I don't think it can. I don't know. I think it's tough to. I can't look at that and be like, this is an objectively wrong thing to do. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. He came second and he wasn't happy with his medal, so he didn't want to put it on.
I just think my headline opinion is you ain't that guy. You're not Donk.
Not yet.
You're not that dude. You're not in a place to say, oh, I don't want that medal.
Dude, I
feel like you should just like,
I think it's
accept
aura.
you played bad, take the medal, move on.
You think it's because he didn't perform to how he wanted?
I want to think that's the reason. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I feel like that's not why. I feel like he only wants the gold. And I agree with what you're saying, and it's his medal. Do whatever you want. But I just don't think it's a good look. I feel like if you played really well...
That's fair. That's absolutely... Yeah, it is... So if you do decide to do something like that, you have to be aware that it's going to bring attention.
Exactly.
It's probably... It might bring positive attention, but it's definitely going to bring a lot of detracting opinions. And... generally speaking, you're making a statement when you do that. Whether it's... People are going to see a statement in it regardless of whether it's the statement you wanted to make or not.
I mean, he's got a very bright future ahead of him. Whatever happens, he's going to be fine.
I mean,
he's 17 years old.
When you got paid
massive
$2
money.
million for a player, you ain't kicking him anytime soon.
No,
You're going to do everything you can to get something out of him. He's going to have plenty
He does
of time.
need more time.
He does. He definitely does. And I think he'll certainly...
Sorry, finish your point.
He'll certainly get more important roles in that team as well as the years go on. Monacy started playing really well again. That's a massive thing too. He was the HLTV MVP. In a loss, in a 3-0 final loss, he still got the HLTV MVP.
To be honest. I'm not sure what the kind of criteria to be the MVP, but I feel like his performance throughout the entire tournament definitely justified. I'm not sure if they bring in the context of him having like a quieter season this year.
They did. They brought up the fact that the Falcons players were saying how Monacy did have a quieter season. Fisher, which you were just at, I was walking past the restaurant. You know the restaurant we got the burger from every single day.
Yes,
That's the one. I seen him and Monacy and Zonic just having like a serious conversation while I was going down to order my 7th cheeseburger. And he was saying, I could see it was quite a serious conversation. Then I heard at Pro League, we had Nico on the sofa. He was saying, we had a conversation with Monacy and asked, how do we get the most out of you again? And they came up with the idea of like more openers, more opening moves. And I think that's the style that we've seen at Pro League, and he was just taking over again.
I think he was calling for himself. That's what the best AWPers have always done. They get their spawn, they're feeling the game, they're reading it.
Yeah.
Like, let's say CT Inferno, you get a good spawn from middle, you go, I'm going to go pick second mid. And I think I could see a lot of that. He was very dynamic, moving around the map, and it just felt like we kind of lost that a little bit in the grand final. I think everyone was a little bit startled.
Right.
Vitality were absolutely destroying them in every facet of the game, and I think when the grand final hits, the momentum changes and players just couldn't find their footing. They didn't have the same level of play. And that is a problem in a studio event as well. Like if you're crumbling in a studio event, sure, it's the grand final, but it feels like it was such a disparity between what we saw throughout the whole tournament. They were dominating like they did at Fisher Playground. They were dominating everyone. Came down to crunch time, didn't work out.
Who was it again that they lost to at Fisher? I can't remember off the top of my head.
Furia.
Yeah, okay. Well, Fury went on to win.
Fallen got that 3-on-1 with the MP9 on
Yeah,
train,
yeah.
and then everything just fell apart for them.
Yeah.
And they would dominate the group stages. They didn't drop a single map.
It's nice to have seen that Monacy's gone on to EPL and then performed well there because, at Fisher, there were opinions going around online and stuff that the drop-off in form that he'd experienced, that was public. And yeah, of course, we saw him at Fisher, and you can imagine that those things weigh on you a bit. And it's nice to see him come out the other end of it.
Especially when you are playing for Falcons. Like, it's the team with the most expectations and pressure on
the most haze.
Yeah, everything. Everyone's hating on you. Everybody expects you to win every tournament. So yeah, absolutely. Good to see them back. FaZe, though, they were the main story of EPL. They went to come to the event. I remember we were sitting casting. Everyone started panicking. We were like, what is going on in the studio?
We got a text message saying we're not doing the FaZe game right now.
Yeah, we're not doing the FaZe game because there's been a bit of a situation. Turns out that FaZe's invited roster was one that contained Delige and Simple when they were invited from the VRS system. They went to the event with Jacob, Twists, and those two players obviously were not eligible for the FaZe roster. So they had one player they needed to switch out, and they got Rain back, who said he got the call from Carrigan when he was hungover after drinking with his friends. He's like, finally, I'm no longer playing with FaZe for the first time in 10 years. Let me go enjoy a night out. As soon as you get drunk, you get wasted, you come back, and you're asked to come and play the next day. So he takes the flight out of Sweden, to Sweden rather, and he's lost his luggage. He's then having to play as soon as he lands. They lose that game, and from that point onwards, FaZe went on to win 3 games in a row, make it into the playoffs.
Bro, watching that from a distance was sick.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting storyline. And cool extra detail you added there with regards to Rain. I wasn't aware of that. But fact of the matter, away from those finer details, called up completely last minute, thinks he's done post-Fisher. Yeah. But he comes back, and then they progress very far in the tournament. 4th, right?
Yeah, but we got... this is a team, I mean, they played against Spirit in the quarterfinal. Yeah. I thought that was it. GG. They were playing against Spirit with Tanir, Donk, like, they're done. But they absolutely bodied them. I guess Spirit's most ridiculous, embarrassing result they've probably ever had.
I think EWC might have been worse. It's heroic.
Oh, you're right. That was more
I think that was worse.
But Tanir wasn't on the team then as well.
Yeah, but Tanir beat them.
Yeah, Tanir beat them.
But by the way, do you two feel like some level of personal connection to Tanir? Because that was the first time for me.
What do you mean?
Where I was like, yo, who the hell is this kid? He's insane. Like, he's on heroic and he's just destroying.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I was slightly behind the curve on the discovery of Tanir, but it's like, that was the first time I saw him up close and personal.
Well, you've seen him in that event we did in Mongolia.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And I was like, this kid's insane.
Yeah.
And then, it was very shortly after that where he gets snatched away by Spirit. So I'm not being literal, but yeah, I always feel like, so when he's gone to Spirit, and I wish him the best, man, because when we were in Mongolia, which was a very interesting experience, I'm sure you guys have spoken about before.
We have.
And work experience.
Those types of experiences, where you bond close with your friends because of everything going on. It was fun. Seeing Tanir And finding out really who Tanir was and seeing how sick he was that's why I'm always rooting for that guy. He was part of the Mongolian experience.
Unfortunately, he kind of botted out against FaZe.
Yeah,
he got bottom fragged.
But you know what?
Yeah.
You know what I loved about him? In that game, he was like 3-15 or something on Mirage. We listened to the listening, and we hear him say, "Hey guys, why are we so gloomy?"
He is the vibes man. Like, he is a bit of a troll.
Chopper just turns to him as an in-game leader and goes, "Well, as you can see, Andre, we are playing very bad."
I haven't heard that clip.
And that was it. And obviously they went on to lose very quickly. Donk was raging every round. It was just a shit show really for Spirit. FaZe went on to then take a map of Vitality in an overtime extravaganza on Mirage. Loved casting that one. So I did a tweet earlier today. I said, I've casted FaZe's run through EPL group stages into destroying Spirit, casting that map where they beat Vitality into third place decider. I also did that one, to then casting within the space of a week them losing to Foot today and making it a group stage exit in CAC. Henry,
I'm blown away. I still am lost for words of the whole situation. Like, again, Jacob was on the sidelines during EPL. He was in the full tracksuit. He was in the green room watching.
Bro thinks he's on the
Bro
team.
thought he was on the team.
Bro was in the Nike tech.
He was
standing outside,
he was there
hands in his
watching it. I
pockets.
felt so bad for him because they said we want to use Twist instead of you actually, so we're gonna take you out and bring Rain in.
I feel a lot of empathy for Jacob at the moment. It's a very tough sport that he's in.
And it is because they didn't get any practice after EPL. I think they said they had 4 days before they came here.
Before EPL.
But like, I'm
it's
sorry, I
before
get
EPL,
it.
yeah.
I get it. You need more time and like it's not great. But after that sort of run with Howie in the lineup, and then you go to this tournament where you're the absolute favorites, I would say, crashing out against a very good Foot, a very impressive team, great fundamentals, good macro.
Right.
Losing to them twice is, I don't know, I think unacceptable. I don't think that's too harsh of a word.
It's very tough regardless. It's so funny though, on the flip side though, it's this wonder story for Foot. Like, they win the best of one, then they rematch FaZe, and what do you think the team huddle was like beforehand, the night before where they find out? No, it wasn't even the night before. It was in the space for a few hours today.
Yeah.
Like, imagine, they're like,
today,
boys, we got to show we can beat them in a best of 3.
Yes,
they must have been so. And then they went and did it. So on the flip side, away from the. Yeah, very negative for FaZe, but Foot, what a story for them.
Fuck,
man. Bro, on broadcast, I was like, is it Foot or Foot? And apparently it's Foot. But
I don't know. We commentated that game, Adam, and it wasn't like a fluke. They actually
they were just
disastrous rounds
way
against
better.
them. They just looked like a better CS team,
Yeah.
and like I get it. I agree with Twist in his interviews, like saying we need more time. Again, that's the catchphrase of this podcast, understandably. But that's a team that's Navi Junior. That's Navi Junior
with Lounge, who famously cannot find a team to stay on.
And it's like, you should have the resources, whether you're ready or not. Yeah, you've played them already. Like, they're a strong team. Yeah. I feel like you should be able to put them to bed. It was a great series, probably the series of the whole tournament. It kind of fucks up this event, I would say. Like, we were hoping for a FaZe Liquid final with all those storylines, exchanging players. Yeah. It kind of ruins the tournament. And also, that's like the Chinese teams have gone to this tournament. FaZe are also like fan favorites in China.
Right.
It's going to have to be Liquid now, I suppose. But like, it kind of kills the storylines going into the playoffs.
Shall we talk about the playoff bracket and give some context? Because
who do we have Liquid, we have Legacy, we have Heroic.
We ran every
Fnatic
ESL.
Fuck.
So every ESL event that's a smaller IEM do this tournament format where you go through the group stages. You win your opening game, sometimes best of 1. I think ESL moved towards best of 3s now, but it used to be BO1s. You win that opening BO1, then if you win a BO3, you're confirmed for playoffs. Then you have a group decider game. You can skip around and go to semis. So that's what we're doing at this event at CAC. So Liquid, they're in the semifinals in the Group A bracket, and on the semifinal side down in Group B, I'll need to remind myself, Heroic actually made it through. So that's the 2 semifinalists.
Heroic with Hades, by the way. Yeah. And Hades, who at least during our last game of the day, during that second game, when they were still playing, he was the highest rated player of the tournament.
In the tournament,
He'd become that during the series they were playing. I don't know if that's still the case now, but yeah, insane.
I can't believe it. Like, Heroic, seemed like after losing Tanir, you thought there's no chance they bounce back. Like, he's their absolute star player. Yeah. You bring in Hades, who's a bit of a kind of stand-in merchant right now. All he does is seem to turn up, play a couple of events, and leave.
Especially because Heroic bottled their major chances at the recent Pro League.
True, I forgot about that. Yeah, it was in the first week of stage 1, right?
They didn't make. They
must have been crushed.
Yeah.
Like for multiple reasons, like financially for the players and in the grand scheme of things for the organization, like that's such a difficult loss. And they felt like they were one of the teams that were going to make it. And then having to bring a stand in here as well. And they go straight to the semifinals, beating Fnatic. They're a very good Fnatic.
It's got to feel bad for Alcarin, man. You're going to be sitting there on the sidelines looking ahead, watching your team get into the semis.
We've seen that before in the history of CS where it's not happened too many times, and I can't give you a specific example, but I know this has happened where some player can't attend for X reason and a stand-in comes in and they perform well. You know that player sitting out is like...
Well, that's what happened to Jacob, right? Like that's the same thing in FaZe.
Yeah.
Like, he had to sit on the sidelines off brain, bodied Vitality on Mirage and like looked super rock solid. And that was the problem today when FaZe were playing. Is like the A bomb side was weak. That's what Jacob was playing. When they started on Ancient as well, he went 0-11. I think he's just going to be so in his head about the whole thing.
Bro, talking about being in his head, it's like, and I don't mean this, be very clear, I don't mean this in any way like I have a strong opinion on his personal skill or whatever. I don't have opinions like that really about players.
Clip this.
No, don't clip it out of context. But what I can say is that a lot of the time when we're seeing, when the POV goes to him, he just looks uncomfortable, like out of place.
Deer in the headlights. Just
like, I mean, gameplay wise, it's just like he doesn't look like secure in his positions and aim. And again, I'm not saying that's a reflection of his skill, but like right now, in how things are set up across the games that I've watched of his, something is not working, man. And I really hope it turns around.
I would say the one thing that is going for him is his aim. Like his aim's really solid.
He's crisp with the AK. Mirage,
but you're right.
He's goated.
I think his aim gets him out of a lot of situations right now. Like today, there was one round in particular on Mirage where they were running out of time. Jacob's just sprinting in, bouncing around. And he gets himself those final 2 headshots over towards ticket box. Like that was the one savior round. But then that's the flip side of things. Like the opening map, you start T side, it goes like 0-12.
Bro. Yeah.
When your entry player's going 0-12, like what are you meant to do about that?
Not much really.
Against Foot.
Okay, more positive note. Let's talk about Liquid and Elige.
Okay.
He's joined the roster. We haven't commentated on any games yet. Like you've had him on your stream, right? Liquid a few times.
Yeah, bro. Elige has been. I don't want to say popping off, but he's been playing very, very solid CS.
Nerds has been sick, mainly.
So Nerds fell off in their last series, but across the tournament, Nerds has been doing well. And as we know, at Fisher, Nerds were doing super good before Elige rejoined the team. But across this tournament, I think Elige is one of the higher rated players. And at the very least, from an eye test and just looking at KD, Elige is doing his job. He's building into this team, and I'm sure there's more to come.
Do we think Liquid are going to win this event?
They've got to be like one of the favorite, maybe the favorite. Yeah. Bring it up and just move the window because we can see the top 6 there is a very interesting. It's got to be Liquid or 3D Max.
I think 3D Max.
So the games coming into the quarterfinals. You got Fnatic and 3D Max. The other game is Legacy.
FUT.
FUT, yes, that is FUT.
What about FUT? Sorry, Legacy FUT, and then we have Liquid.
Maybe it is FUT. FUT's better than
FUT. It's because
what the FUT?
The team's name is like Futbolista or something.
Futbolista.
Okay. Yeah, and then Liquid are waiting in the semis for Fnatic or 3D Max, and Heroic away for Legacy.
So I think Liquid
FUT.
have the tougher semi-final. 3D Max. I can actually see Fnatic beating 3D Max. 3D Max aren't playing that well.
They're not. They actually look kind of weak. They got to quarterfinals at EPL.
Yeah.
They were looking fantastic there. This tournament, they're very ropey.
Yeah.
Why do you think 3D Max are sort of like hot and cold? It's been like that for like a year now.
No, looking back, like I know we keep bringing up Fisher Playground, but like they crash out in group stages there. Then they have deep runs at EPL.
Yeah.
And I think it's down to the individual prowess of the team. Like Exorcise is the backbone of that team, him and Maka. But when Exorcise is popping off, he's like a top 5 rifler. When he's like feeling it, he is fantastic.
Also, the travel schedule is absolutely insane.
True,
like,
they do like every single tournament as well. They do every single event, and they're like always down in the mud. Like they're doing like the 0-2 games, have to creep back in. Yeah. I think maybe it's Burnout, maybe it's the travel. Like I think a lot of the teams that went to Pro League and had to go straight to China are feeling the burn.
Have you told the Maka story, by the way? That's an interesting one.
I don't know. You tell her.
Maka's background.
Oh, when he was
so Maka, who's been this isn't a long story, but
that's a good story.
Yeah, like Maka, who's been a part of the 3D Max machine for what, couple of years?
Like a year and a half.
Like a solid amount of time. And is technically speaking one of the top performing French players. A scene that at one point was massive is a bit smaller these days, other than a couple
of Apex.
Yeah, other than a couple of anomalies. 3D Max is the French team.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Maka, he got his start in competitive CS through a competition that myself and Henry were involved in for a couple years, called ROG Join the Republic. It's like it was Asus's little project where they would go to like LANs or gaming events, set up their booth, and then they would have an influencer or a CS player there, and they would get a team together from competition at that event, pick 4 people. And then they would go to a boot camp, and this was all recorded, and they was put out online as content. And then they would play at the end of the year, literally like in December in Stockholm, in a LAN, and that's how Maka started in CS. He joined.
He was part of Team France, right?
Yeah, he was part of Team France. Played on it, and then from there, some people asked him because he was telling me this when we re-met in Shanghai last year at the major, and I was like, "What? You? Oh yeah, of course you were. You're the fucking Orba." And like,
yeah, it's just funny how that comes to be.
Dude, it's like, and that propelled him then from to the next thing. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about who we think is going to win this event because we have a couple of events to get through.
Okay.
I think for CAC, I personally think Liquid could win this event. That if you know,
I don't. Dude, this event's weird.
Yeah,
like nothing's making sense. Like you looked at the predictions from the analysts going into it, no one's on track.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Everyone's
That's why
wrong.
I'm going Liquid. They just have the high skill ceiling. Like if they all click, I think they have the highest skill ceiling.
I know Ultimate gets a lot of shit, let's say, for his up and down performances.
Yes.
When he's on though, I feel like it's a great show. I feel like if you're ever going to win an event, it's this one. Now FaZe are out the picture. Who else is there to take you down? 3D Max, who are looking pretty poor. I think I'm with you. I think Liquid's a good shout. With Elise there as well. Sure, he hasn't looked his best, but like I think he must have learned his lessons now. He cannot be the guy who's like dragging the vibes down. He has to be more positive, show his experience, his veterancy, and hopefully bring them over and especially Nerds as well.
I think whoever wins that Liquid semifinal wins the event. So I think personally 3D Max are going to beat Fnatic.
Yep.
And I think it'll end up being whoever wins that semifinal is going to win the tournament. So for me, it's going to be Liquid as the favorites, and then 3D Max is the underdog.
What do you guys think about the chances of a Liquid Legacy final?
Possible, I suppose.
That's probably... That's
I
quite
think
likely.
Is it Foot versus Legacy in the quarter?
Yeah, and then Legacy would play Heroic.
Which this is the easier side of the bracket for sure. Legacy, like not to be slept on.
Yeah.
To be fair.
So this is my point. Not at this point. I don't think Legacy should be being slept on, and they get to go up against Liquid in that grand final. I think they've got a chance.
Okay, I like that. Let's take Legacy as the underdog.
Yeah, that's fair.
And Liquid
Totally
or
fair.
3D Max as favorites for the events.
Okay.
Right, easy.
Let's say
It'd be rematch as well from the match.
But there's also another tournament going on right now. So the Thunderpick World Championship.
Thunderpick.
That's in Malta.
It is.
We aren't there, but
of course
they are. So
well, everyone lives in Malta. So you got Hugo lives in Malta, Chad lives in Malta, Alex lives in Malta,
3D Max players live in
Malta.
Malta.
3D Max in Malta. Yeah. So yeah, it's fair enough. I'll be honest. I have not seen the results. Think. Have you got anything to blow my mind?
Yeah. So there's nothing.
I'm on the same page as Henry, by the way.
All the favorites just win.
Okay.
All right. So at Thunderpick, all the favorites have been winning. Furia beat the Mongols today. That was a big result.
Yeah.
Mongols,
that was the grand final of
Fisher.
Fisher.
They beat them 2-0. And the Mongols, they're disappointing me right now. They're disappointing. They did practice this time. That's the bad part. They're playing in Serbia. So Mongols are defending champions of that event. Aurora beat Venom. Na'Vi got the win. All the favorites have won so far. I think in that event, I'm going to go Furia to win. I think Thunderpick, we got Furia winning that one, and Mongols could be in the final again.
So back-to-back, no, not back-to-back trophies. They didn't win Pro League, but
no
Playground into Thunderpick. I'm kind of with you. I think they're a great team. Yeah. Like they're looking fantastic. Who would have thought? We saw MIBR try to replicate their sort of magic. Hasn't really worked out here though, has it?
No, not at all. Very disappointing from MIBR. They kicked off the event with a great win, and then they just fell off completely. I was very disappointed in what I've seen from MIBR.
A Brazilian team's dead.
Pretty much. Well, Legacy, Paula, as you said.
Okay, yes, true.
We still have a Brazilian team. We had Fluxo at this event.
Legacy, true Brazilian team. That being said, hot and cold. Seem to be running hot right now. Staying on the topic of are true Brazilian teams dead? So objectively speaking, they're not. But the field is much thinner than what 5 years ago. Like incredibly thinner than 4 years, like 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago.
There's two full Brazilian teams in the top five.
It's Fluxo and Legacy, right?
Those are two only full Brazilian teams. And Fluxo aren't really a good team. So, I mean, we have Legacy is the only one that's actually full Brazilian that get to go to events. Dumao, Lato. I love that Halvor called them Timu, Caserato, and Yuri. I thought that was good. That was some of his best work.
Good. Yeah, that actually is perfect.
Yeah, and it's true.
They could win the tournament. I
Yeah.
just wanted just to reiterate that.
Low-key,
Legacy can win.
low-key.
Legacy can actually
It's
win.
a cool story.
They are killers. They could do it.
All right,
What's next,
so
Dinko?
The next event, we are here in Bucharest right now. But
Physically we are.
Yes. And then I go home to Malta for 3 days. And then I come back to Bucharest for PGL Bucharest. You're casting it as well, but you're going to be doing it remote.
I'm doing B-Stream from Malta.
Yeah.
A lot of moving parts. I'm doing the group stages with Harry.
Yeah.
By the time this comes out, I think that'll be announced. So it's fine. So you're going to be in person with Jason,
Yes, I'll be here with Moses.
your actual
yes.
commentary duo.
Yes.
Okay. I actually don't know who's playing there.
So
You've got
It's
to list
up
some
on that
teams.
screen.
So the problem is we have Chengdu coming up right after PGL Bucharest, right? So a lot of travel, a lot of events on at the same time. So we are missing out on the world's top teams at this tournament because Chengdu has the world's best teams.
Poor old PGL, man. They can't catch a break.
Yes, but they do have everyone's favorite, especially Chad's favorite, Aurora.
Okay.
Aurora coming into that event, I think that's the team I'm looking at. You've got 3D Max, Astralis, Liquid.
Dude, Aurora can't win a championship.
This
though.
has to be the one.
They literally can't win a trophy.
Dude, listen to the teams here.
It's sort of a similar tournament in terms of like average team
Prestige.
quality compared to CAC.
Yes.
Give me the heavy hitters. Who's playing?
Aurora
Yep.
are the heaviest hitter. 3D Max, Astralis, Liquid.
That's it.
Then we have Gentlemates, who are the surprise of Pro League.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
I would say Game Religion, but I don't think so anymore. And Pain, I wouldn't say either anymore.
Heroic, maybe let's see their next match.
Legacy are there, so if they go on a run and if they win, this
Exactly,
event,
same with Legacy.
they,
yeah.
remember, they have to fly back from China to here. So
China. Fire.
Fire. Well, we have got Aurora. I think have to be favorites of that whole tournament. To be honest, it's a $1 million
Dude, they.
Swiss
I've
best of
never
three.
seen a team choke out so hard as that group of individuals. Holy
wait,
shit!
who?
Aurora.
Like
Bro,
they
again, I
choke
know
out
we're half-
every tournament.
They're just
Bro,
feeling
Fisher
so thank
was,
you.
That was a tough.
They did the same thing at EPL,
But we
though.
got to stop apologizing about referencing Fish. By the way, before
it comes
EPL,
up a lot.
but we got to, because before EPL, it was the most recent significant event, and it wasn't too long ago. It was 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 5 weeks. So it's like the relevancy is there. Aurora at Fisher, bro, that was a tough watch
Shit the
because
bed.
they each brought their whole families
Oh,
out.
that was rough. To
And
be fair.
they made top eight,
Forgot about
Yeah.
that.
and then just got smashed on the stage.
Oh, they were playing a dead team as well. They were playing Liquid, a dead team.
Yeah,
Yep.
dude.
Got
Oh, that was so
smashed.
flat. I remember casting. I was like, oh, there's the Aurora family in the front row.
Yeah, that's right.
Nonetheless, though, shout out our boy Woxic, yeah? One time.
Always, but
Always your MVP. Always your MVP for Pro
always my
League.
MVP. But like, yeah, dude. Okay, if this isn't the one, what's going to be the one? Like,
Exactly.
you have to make a roster change because it feels like at this point tactically they're looking weak. I have to say I don't want to make an
Dude,
indictment
Madger
on
made the
Madger.
most embarrassing round I've ever seen.
Yes, on Dust 2, like going through the double doors on EPL, like that was rough.
Yeah.
That was one of the worst clutches of all time.
Guys, I didn't see this round. Can I get a
So basically, it's against-
re-commentating of it?
He's got
Okay,
it.
I actually was casting this moment.
Yeah.
All right. Brokey, time, can't win it. There's 4 seconds left. He can't
4
win it. There's
seconds.
absolutely no way he can win the round.
He's a
Madger,
T-side.
what the fuck are you doing?
So, to be clear,
kinda
like, he
that.
can't. Madger, CT side, Dust 2 B side, double doors. There's 4 seconds left. Brokey can't plant. The doors are smoked. All he has to do is stay alive. He can't be killed. And Madger, instead of retreating and falling back, his teammate goes down. He then runs through the smoke of the
With
double
3
doors.
seconds.
Through the doors on B side.
Yes,
Yes.
with 3 seconds on the clock, so no time
And
to
then
plan.
gives him an opportunity to kill him. All he had to do was be AFK anywhere else but running through the smoke.
It's a mistake.
And
It's a mistake. It's a mistake.
Yeah, it's just a choke, huge choke. And, it's
then
like,
they lost again.
people like are asking now, Madger, I consider him a Counter-Strike institution, right?
Legend,
He's a legend. He's
Big
a
up
great,
Madger.
great in-game leader, but tactically, Aurora are looking weak when it really matters. When it comes down to crunch time, they seem to choke.
Mental
and,
collapses.
And he's the one who's responsible for these like disasters that happen. He's always involved in the rounds of the huge blunders. It just begs the question now, is there someone else in Turkey to take up the mantle from him? That's the big question.
Do you think we're there at that point? Really?
If they want to win silverware,
well,
they
I
haven't
think
won a single
this could be the
trophy.
last chance, right? If they win this trophy, maybe that could be the
I
turning
think
point.
that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but I think I mean there is a decent sample size there, but
So-
I think here with a solid result, a bit more time. I don't know.
I like it.
go.
You're getting
Now
the
you're
hang of
getting
this
on board.
podcast, right?
Now you know the show.
More time. It's our
Yeah,
cast.
it's the catchphrase of the show. Everyone needs more time.
Right, so-
All right, that's been Parla. Thank you so much.
He's out of here.
It's a great
All
show.
right, so Aurora, for me, are favorites to win the tournament. Whether or not they'll win it is a whole other question. Liquid are also there. If Liquid win this event, I'm going to say they could be a favorite for that tournament as well. That's wait and see. But I'm excited. I think for an underdog for Bucharest, I'm going to take
Thank you.
probably I'd say Liquid or 3D Max, and I'll pick Aurora as a favorite.
I want 3D Max to do well. I'm actually a bit of a fan of the team. Exorcise, I think, is incredible. But like the streakiness and the inconsistency, like I want to believe it's Burnout, Dinko. I want to believe it. I think they suffer from an in-game leader issue as well. Like the fact that gravity.
Well, if that is the case, I don't feel good about their chances because they're flying back here again.
Yeah.
After being in China. So for me, Aurora favorites for Bucharest, underdog.
I'm gonna go Liquid. I think I was when we were doing buy, sell, hold last time. I think I bought Liquid stock.
You always buy Liquid stock.
Yeah, so I think I have to do it again. I have to buy some more.
All right, we can
just let me. So just for the purpose, you guys have each said one. I want to believe in the 3D Max dream. I want to believe in the 3D Max dream.
As a favorite, who's an underdog then?
Like underdog or dark horse type.
Dark horse.
A dark horse then. Aurora.
All right.
There we go.
I would say at this point in their trajectory, they have the potential, but it's by no means a guarantee.
That's a good word. A trophy, bro. Zantaras has never won a LAN championship.
Dude, it's so insane.
Yeah.
One of the best players.
That's
and he's
insane.
Just,
we
not
actually
touched
casted the one he did win. It wasn't an exceptional tournament, Henry, but we casted the final where they were Eternal Fire. They won a trophy at that event in Malta, CCT finals in Malta.
Okay, come on, that doesn't
And
count.
that was the only one that I've ever recalled that he's
count.
ever won a trophy.
Okay, tier 1 trophy, I think
Exactly,
is the thing. Yeah.
But that's so sad that is the only one, is the CCT Cup. All right, well, we have a segment here we call Counter Stocks, Paula, where we buy, sell, or hold items. We're going to do one buy, one sell, one hold.
What do you want to do, hold or sell? You can choose.
So explain it to me. So buy means that we're really
Imagine
in favor.
you got like either stocks or crypto, and you like something you either
to
you
buy,
want to buy
like
something it's maybe like underrated and it's cheap right now, so you want to buy it.
Yeah, cool.
And if you want to hold it, it's something like sure, it's not performing great right now, but you want to hold on to it.
Yeah.
If you want to sell it,
And sell, I'm not happy with.
you
I want to
get rid of them.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
I want to get.
We can go first if you like.
Yeah, you guys go first. Yeah.
Okay,
So-
you gonna buy?
Yeah, I'm gonna buy.
Okay, you buy. You tell
It's
me what to
pretty
buy.
easy for me. I'm gonna buy Twist's Return to Phase.
Okay.
For him as an individual player.
The easiest fruit to pick from the tree.
No, they did lose today.
Dude,
bro.
they
To be
lost
fair.
Sure, but he's been playing extremely well.
Yeah, no, that's fair
From
as well.
EPL, so
So you're
That
buying
is why
more
I'm
of that
buying
stock.
it. That's
So-
why I'm
so
buying it.
While it's still cheap.
While they just lost a foot and the stock is
it just crashed.
plummeting.
It did just crash, to be fair.
Twist
So
is back to Phase, and dude, he is looking insane. Like,
Yep.
I've got a good hold.
all right, well, let me finish.
Yeah.
So I'm buying a little bit of
Let him
Twist.
explain his point. Hold on. What's
And
going on?
Twist is
No, for
because
sure.
Twist has come back as a more mature player. We've heard it from the Phase players. They say he's a secondary caller now. He's the first secondary caller that Carrigan has had since Nico. And we see him as just this more mature, well-rounded player. He's also fragging like crazy. He's carrying Phase through maps like Mirage in particular. There was a game against Vitality that we went on the sofa and after the second map, and I was just like, I don't know if going into this third map, if Twist can keep up this level of performance, because it is literally insane. The first two maps of play, he basically solo carry Phase through to a win against Vitality on one map, and for me that's just insane. So I have to buy Twist because as soon as this team gets more time, I feel like Twist is just going to be obviously such an essential piece moving forward. He could even move into the in-game leader role in the future with Carrigan going
I think
coach.
that's the plan.
That's something that was brought up on the desk between Zvone and Dust. I can't remember who brought it. It wasn't myself. It was one of them two. And to each other, is the idea here that Twist is being brought on so that he can eventually transition to that IGL role?
Carrigan
Very
go
curious if
coach.
that is the case. Very interesting. Potentially, a very cool idea.
Yeah. So I buy him because of the long-term
I like him.
benefit.
So you got an interesting hold.
I want to hold Hades in Heroic.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, him as
You've selected a stand-in. As
Yeah,
your hold.
exactly.
All right.
So of course, we know for all intents and purposes, Alcarin is coming back, right? But Hades has come into this tournament and been a very successful stand-in by any measure. And also, Hades, we've got that British connection with him. That's something I'm happy to invest and hold my stock in.
He's another one of those Polish-British operas like Hypex
Exactly.
as well.
So he's a guy that I can get behind. I also think he's a guy that's reached solid levels in his career, but given the right opportunities, can maybe punch a bit higher. And right now, he's proving that by having an incredible stand-in performance on Heroic.
Stand in.
Sure.
A little bit of both.
Stand in having a standout performance.
Exactly. And so right now, I'm keeping my investment in Hades.
Okay. got to bring some controversy to the table.
Oh, here we
for
go.
the sell. I'm selling Fnatic for what they did to my boy Cypher.
Oh, fair enough.
You know what? Like,
Speaking
even
of the
though they're
British
doing well
connection.
here, they got to the playoffs here. I'm not super passionate about this. I just wanted to talk about it a little bit.
Right.
The fact that they kind of slimed my boy.
Can you explain it to me fully? Because obviously I know who Cypher is. I know that Fnatic have been going through a big period of flux, but I don't know exactly.
I'm selling them because of the community perception of Fnatic right now. They are like honestly, they did pretty well this tournament, and they might even win it. Who knows? But the community perception is everyone hates Fnatic, especially the British community, because Cypher, a team like Fnatic, they haven't been at many majors. They haven't been doing well the last couple of years. He comes in, they make it, they qualify. They went to what? Fragadelphia?
They went to Fragadelphia, but Crims couldn't go, so they used Jacasmo. Cypher was there.
So
qualified.
Jacasmo replaced Crims,
yes,
and then they cut Cypher afterwards. They're doing this like the thing they're presenting it as is like a 6-man roster. So they're not really saying who will go to the major. There's still a chance he'll go there, I suppose. But the thing is, like,
not if they win this event.
Kaya's been there like for a long time now. He's really grinding with them, and he's playing the entry fragger role, like the pure entry fragger. And it's a really difficult role. It's up and down. Like whatever happens, like you either get the shot or you don't, but you're setting up your teammates. The team's been on an upward trajectory. They were down in the dumps like NIP were, which is kind of ironic considering the etymology of these teams. But the fact that they've had to go through the VRS system, finally playing big tournaments, finally make the major, they cut him like a month before. And Richie said on the desk today as well, it's like, sometimes you may have to make hard decisions to like win the big trophies and like kind of bring the big results. I get that, but it just feels so unfair to Cypher. Like,
sure, it is brutal. It's absolutely brutal.
Big up Cypher one
I'm not
time.
saying I have
Big
a
up
strong
Cypher
opinion on
one
it.
time.
I'm just saying I'm selling the stock because I think it's crashing through public perception.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think in the context that you've given us, I absolutely agree. I would tend to lean towards what Richard's saying as well. Like, you want to give yourself the best possible roster going into the major. But I don't know if that is with Crims, but I feel like it would probably be more brutal to kick Crims like on his return to the major.
I mean,
For a Fnatic,
sure, I guess, but how long does it have to be? Like, what? He's fine. He does an okay job. He does an okay job. Like, I think he's cool. You watch his games. He knows how to get the positions, to get the body shots, kill the rotators.
Right.
That's his role now. He doesn't seem to be doing much.
I would
else.
agree that having a hard entry player is probably better than what Crims is bringing to the table. But Fear is an in-game leader who obviously played with Jacasmo. They had their breakout as Passion UA, who are now Complexity, but they were Passion UA at the Shanghai Major through the RMRs. It was their first big LAN event. They lived in a house together. It was literally the first LAN for these players, like Jambo, Jacasmo.
Yeah.
Fear was their caller. And obviously now he's in a Fnatic team. You got a chance to bring your boys over. I mean, he's obviously taking that, isn't he? So, but yeah, I would absolutely agree with you that the optics of it are very bad for Fnatic.
That's the only reason I brought it up.
Yeah.
I thought we haven't talked about it yet. It's just a good opportunity. I wish them the best. They've done very well here this tournament. They've looked good. But I just feel bad for Cypher. Hope he bounces back. Don't know what the future holds. Maybe he does play the major.
Where's Cypher from in the UK, by the way? Does anyone know?
Not sure.
I think Midlands. I would
But
guess.
I remember he rocked up to the Paris Major with his gear and a Tesco bag, and I was
Big up Cypher, man.
That's my boy.
Tesco value.
Stop, bro.
And then he
Did he
obviously
have the
made-
meal deal
Dude,
inside it as
he
well?
made the most legendary
Doesn't have
run
it.
all the way into the major playoffs. Sticker money for days.
Yep.
Doesn't
And
have
the
to
most
have a,
profitable major of all
yeah,
time. Probably
doesn't
made
have
like
to have a sticker.
300-400K from that event.
Yeah, it doesn't have to have a Tesco bag anymore.
No.
Good for him. But I do feel bad for him for many reasons. This Fnatic situation is one of them. But also he's part of that bleed, not paid situation as well.
Was Cypher part of that?
Yeah.
Yes, he was
thing?
part of
Okay.
that team. So,
Jacob, bro.
yo, he's having a... Put that
The
down.
boss.
Right, so anyway, I think, and on that bombshell, we're going to end this episode. So thank you very much, Paulo, for joining us here for another episode.
Check
This
out.
was...
Is this
Here we go.
actually
Yeah,
we're just kind of okay, cool, yeah.
Oh, dapping up.
My brother.
No, the worst dap of all time on camera.
Slow motion.
Okay.
Bro, what are you doing?
It's a historic handshake.
Do,
here,
do,
Paulo.
do you want to see a cool secret handshake that we can have together?
Yeah.
I do have it with one other group.
We're holding hands for way too long
Look,
right now.
so just think about thumb pinch
Right.
with your finger.
Okay.
Keep going. Spin. Boom.
Okay.
Spin
You
back.
kind of recovered it.
Boom.
Okay.
Kind of recovered it.
Right,
Yeah.
so let's
The
see
whole
if they,
thing.
so think about pinching like that and then just spin around the thumb. Boom.
Yeah.
There-
Oh, you go back
he's-
again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Henry, that's so cringe, dude.
I am cringe.
You're so
I am
cringe that you
free.
messed it up.
All right. Well, some secret handshakes. Maybe we'll have one here for the podcast. This has been the Post Plan Podcast brought to you by BitcoinCasino.vip.